वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं तत जयम् उदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्ति भवती नैष्टिकी। हरे कृष्णा। We continuing Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 4 Chapter 30 Shloka number 44, 45 and 46. यत् मन्यसे ध्रुवं लोकम्
यत् मन्यसे ध्रुवं लोकम्
अध्रुवं वा न चोभयम्
अध्रुवं वा न चोभयम्
सर्वथा नयते
सर्वथा न हि शोच्यस्ते
स्नेहात् अन्यत्र मोहजात।
स्नेहात् अन्यत्र मोहजात्।
तस्मात् तस्मात् जहि अंग वैक्लव्यम्
तस्माज्जहि अङ्गवैक्लव्यम्
अज्ञानकृतम् आत्मनः।
अज्ञानकृतम् आत्मनः।
कथं तु अनाथा कृपणाः
कथं तु अनाथा कृपणाः
वर्तेरन्ते च मा विना।
वर्ते रंस्ते च मां विना।
मां विना। कालकर्म गुण अधीनः
कालकर्मगुण अधीनः
देह अयं पांच भौतिकः।
देह अयं पाञ्चभौतिकः।
कथम अन्यान् तु गोपयेत
कथम् अन्यान् तु गोपायेत।
सर्पग्रस्त यथा परम।
सर्पग्रस्तः यथा परम्।
यत् मन्यसे ध्रुवं लोकम्
यत् मन्यसे ध्रुवं लोकम्
अध्रुवं वा न चोभयम्
न ध्रुवं वाच न चोभयम्।
अध्रुवं वा न चोभयम्
अध्रुवं वा न चोभयम्।
सर्वथा न हि शोच्याते
सर्वथा न हि शोच्याते
स्नेहात् अन्यत्र मोहजात्।
स्नेहात् अन्यत्र मोहजात्।
तस्मात् जहि अंग वैक्लव्यम्
तस्माज्जहि अङ्गवैक्लव्यम्
अज्ञानकृतम् आत्मनः।
अज्ञानकृतम् आत्मनः।
कथं तु अनाथः कृपणाः
कथं तु अनाथा कृपणाः
वर्तेरन्ते च मा विना।
वर्ते रमते च मा विना।
मां विना। हाँ।
मां विना।
काल कर्म गुण अधीनः
कालकर्म नु कर्मगुण अधीनः
देह अयं पांचभौतिकः।
देह अयं पाञ्चभौतिकः।
कथम अन्यान् तु गोपयेत
कथम् अन्यान् तु
गोपायेत
गोपायेत।
सर्पग्रस्त यथा परम।
सर्पग्रस्त यथा परम्।
यत् मन्यसे ध्रुवं लोकम् अध्रुवं वा न च उभयम् सर्वथा नैव शोच्याते स्नेहात् अन्यत्र मोहात्। तस्मात् जहि अंगवैक्लव्यम् अज्ञानकृतम् आत्मनः। कथं तु अनाथा कृपणा वर्तेरन्ते च मां विना। कालकर्म गुण अधीनः देह अयं पांच भौतिकः। कथम अन्यान् तु गोपयेत सगर सर्पग्रस्तः यथा परम। हरे कृष्णा।
यत् मन्यसे ध्रुवं लोकम् अध्रुवं वा न चोभयम् सर्वथा न हि शोच्याते स्नेहात् अन्यत्र मोहजात्। तस्माज्जह्य अङ्गवैक्लव्यम् अज्ञानकृतम् आत्मनः। कथं त्व अनाथा कृपणाः वर्ते रमते च मा विना। कालकर्मगुण अधीनः देह अयं पाञ्चभौतिकः। कथम् अन्यान् तु गोपायेत् सर्पग्रस्तः यथा परम। आशीष प्रभु जी।
आशीष प्रभु जी।
कृपा मई सिखा
आशीष
देवी
प्रभु
माता
जी।
जी।
Poonam Mataji. Translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada.
Success, prosperity, and no delusion, no doubts. That is called
Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna,
Okay.
Mataji.
In Hare Krishna. O King, in all circumstances, whether you consider the soul to be an eternal principle or the material body to be perishable, or everything to exist in the impersonal absolute truth, or everything to be an inexplicable combination of matter and spirit. Feelings of separation are due only to illusory affection and nothing more. Therefore, give up your anxiety due to ignorance of the self. You are now thinking of how they, who are helpless, poor creatures, will exist without you. This gross material body made of 5 elements is already under the control of eternal time, kāla, action, karma, and the modes of material nature, guṇa. How they can it being already in the jaws of the serpent protect others. Purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The actual fact is that every living being is an individual part and parcel of the Supreme Being, and his constitutional position is subordinate cooperative service, either in his conditional material existence or in his liberated position of full knowledge and eternity. The living entity is eternally under the control of the Supreme Lord, but those who are not conversant with factual knowledge put forward many speculative propositions about the real position of the living entity. It is admitted, however, by all schools of philosophy that the living being is eternal and that the covering body of the 5 material elements is perishable and temporary. The eternal living entity transmigrates from one material body to another by the law of karma, and material bodies are perishable by their fundamental structures. Therefore, there is nothing to be lamented in the case of the souls being transferred into another body or the material bodies perishing at a certain stage. There are others also who believe in the merging of the spirit soul in the supreme spirit when it is uncovered by the material engagement, and there are others also who do not believe in the existence of spirit or soul but believe in tangible matter. In our daily experience, we find so many transformations of matter from one form to another, but we do not lament such changing features. In either of the above cases, the force of divine energy is uncheckable. No one has any hand in it, and thus there is no cause of grief. When we think of our kith and kin as being helpless and dependent on us, it is also due to ignorance. Every living creature is allowed to all protection by the order of the Supreme Lord in terms of each one's acquired position in the world. The Lord is known as Bhuta Bhuta, one who gives protection to all living beings. One should discharge his duties only, for no one but the Supreme Lord can give protection to anyone else. This is explained more clearly in the following verse. The words movement for freedom through political, economic, social, and cultural propaganda can do no benefit to anyone, for they are controlled by superior power. A conditional living being is under the full control of material nature, represented by eternal time and activities under the dictation of different modes of nature. There are 3 material modes of nature, namely goodness, passion, and ignorance. Unless one is situated in the mode of goodness, one cannot see things as they are. The passionate and the ignorant cannot even see things as they are. Therefore, a person who is passionate and ignorant cannot direct his activities on the right path. Only the man in the quality of goodness can help to a certain extent. Most persons are passionate and ignorant, and therefore their plans and projects can hardly do any good to others. Above the modes of nature is eternal time, which is called kāla because it changes the shape of everything in the material world. Even if we are able to do something temporarily beneficial, time will see that the good project is frustrated in course of time. The only thing possible to be done is to get rid of eternal time call, which is compared to cancer or the cobra snake, whose bite is always lethal. No one can be saved from the bite of a cobra. The best remedy for getting out of the clutches of the cobra like Kal or its integrity. The modes of nature is Bhakti Yoga, as it is recommended in Bhagavad Gita 14.26. The highest perfectional project of philanthropic activities is to engage everyone in the act of preaching Bhakti Yoga all over the world, because that alone can save the people from the control of Maya or the material nature represented by Kal, Karma, and Guna, as described above. The Bhagavad Gita 14.26 confirm this definitely. Om ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनः शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवाञ्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांच नमो ओम विष्णु पादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात देश तारिणे वांछा कल्पतरुभे च कृपा सिंधुभे एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण। We try to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 13, Dhritarashtra quits Som, Shloka number 40, 4 to 46. Here, uh, they describe about the most important about the shloka number, Bhagavad Gita shloka number 14 to 14.26. The highest perfectional project of philanthropic activities is to engage everyone in the act of preaching the Bhakti Yoga. And when all engage in this and preaching everywhere, that alone can save the people from the control of Maya or the material nature represented by Karma and Guna, as described here. And therefore, this shloka 14.20 26 माम च यह अव्यभिचारेण भक्ति योगेन सेवते स गुणान् समतीति एतान् ब्रह्म भूयाय कल्पते. Prabhuji will tell us in detail. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpaturvecha kripa sindhubhe evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So Narad ji, who is the spiritual teacher and who has been giving solutions in times of troubles, is continuing his guidance to Yudhishthir Maharaj. And then he is quoting some important principles. First and foremost, soul is an eternal principle. Second, material body is perishable. Three, some may believe that everything exists in impersonal absolute truth, and some may believe that everything is inexplicable combination of matter and spirit. But still the fact remains the truth. And what is that? Fourth, feeling of separation is due to illusory affection and nothing more. So vipralamba bhava. Maharaj is saying that this feeling of separation is due to illusion. And so comes the next teaching. Fifth, give up your anxiety, which is due to the ignorance of self. Seventh, he gives the reason for anxiety, that we are thinking or he is thinking how they are. They are helpless, poor creatures. How will they exist without you? And then to make him understand further, he comes with this next teaching that the gross material body is made of 5 elements, Panchatattva. And then further teaching that this whole thing is under the control of 3 things: eternal time, kāla, karma, the action, and guṇa, the modes of material nature. And if this is a fact, then comes the next teaching. Therefore, everyone is being already in the jaws of the serpent. So how can they be protecting others? See, a person who is strong can protect someone who is weak. But here, everyone is already in the mouth of the death. The snake, the serpent, the cobra. Everyone is assured to die. So how can someone who is assured to die save someone from death? Not possible at all. So everyone needs to understand that every jiva is part and parcel of Krishna. And the constitutional position is subordinate cooperative service. SCS. See, someone can be a servant and he can be a rebel as well. So that kind of a servant is not required. Someone can be a servant and try to lord it over. Again, that kind of a servant is not good. Servant who is subordinate and who is cooperative becomes a good servant. And that exactly is our constitutional position. So Naradji makes us understand whether we are in this material existence where we are conditioned, or whether we are liberated and go into the spiritual realm in our liberated position of full knowledge and eternity. Still, we are always going to be under the control of Krishna. And that is why he is Param Ishvara. We as living beings are eternal. But this body covering, this is perishable, this is temporary. This is made of the 5 material elements: earth, water, fire, ether. Right? So, when eternal living being transmigrate from one material body to another because of law of karma, it is just natural process, because the material body is perishable, just like the other material fundamental structures. So if someone is changing the body, there is nothing to be lamenting about it. Because anyway, the material body was to perish at certain stage. In fact, even in our daily life, we find so many material transformations happening, one form to another. Do we lament such changes? When a small baby is growing to become a small child or a youth, do we lament that change? No. So similarly, if that is changing body from one body to another body, why should we lament? A sapling is being created from a seed which is sown in uh, soil, and then that sapling becomes a tree. A material change, a transformation. Do we lament? No. So why lament the change of someone transmigrating from one body to another? All this is happening because of the force of divine nature, which is uncheckable. No one has any hand in it. There is no cause of grief at all. But unfortunately, we think that our kith and king are helpless, they are dependent upon us. But this is ignorance. Every jiva is allowed protection by order of Krishna in terms of whatever is their acquired position in world. We are just puppets in the hand of Krishna. It is not that we are protecting our family members. No, Krishna is protecting them. If not we, someone else would be his means to protect them. Because Krishna is Bhutabhrataha, one who gives protection to all living beings. So, what is required is that we get out of this ignorance that I am the one and all my relatives are helpless or dependent. We should only discharge the duties not for anyone but for Krishna. Because Krishna can give protection to anyone. We should give up the anxiety due to ignorance of self. As a conditioned living being, we are under full control of material nature. And this eternal time, kāla, it is dictating our life in different modes of nature. In the mode of goodness, we can see things as they are. But those who are passionate, those who are ignorant, cannot see the things. They can direct the activities in multiple directions, but never on the right path. It's only the man in the quality of goodness who can help to a certain extent. People who are passionate, ignorant, they are most of the persons are in that category. They do so many plans, they create so many projects, but none of them are good for others. Because what is good for others is when they are enlightened about their original constitutional position. Otherwise, under the influence of Kal, everything moves and everything changes. Whatever material temporary benefit someone is trying to do, like say Ladki Bahin Yojana, that is not temporary, that is not a good project. It will be frustrated in course of time. The only thing possible which can help in getting rid of the Kala, the eternal time, it actually is compared to Kala Sarp, cobra snake. And that bite is always lethal. Huh? By the way, being doctors, we know it. So no one can be saved from the bite of a cobra. So the best remedy for getting out of the clutches of this cobra-like Kal, that is the modes of nature, is as recommended in Bhagavad Gita, which is Bhakti Yoga. माम च यो अव्यभिचारेण भक्ति योगेन सेवते से गुणान समत्ते इति तान brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Krishna says, one who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and comes to the level of Brahman. So what is required is that we get involved into Krishna activities. And it is Krishna activities which is known as Bhakti Yoga, always acting for Krishna. So if someone is always engaged in the service of any form of Krishna, it can be any form of Krishna or his plenary expansions, it is transcendentally situated. Because all forms of Krishna are transcendental, blissful, full of knowledge, they are eternal. So the best thing, best philanthropy, most perfect project of philanthropy can be when we are able to engage everyone in preaching of Bhakti Yoga all over the world. Because it is only Bhakti Yoga which can save the people from the control of Maya. Because Maya is something which is actually representing the whole issue, this whole material nature. So kāla, karma, guṇa, they are just there to keep us bondaged. And we need to get out of that. Practically speaking, the purifying process is already there in the heart of everyone. Because Krishna is there with each one of us in the form of Paramatma. In fact, Prabhupada gives this example a lot when we were just discussing the Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti Shlokam today. That shloka is quoted by Prabhupada, which is relevant even in today's discussion. A car can be one of the best cars, best specifications, but it is useless unless there is a driver who can drive the car. Similarly, this material nature, it is there, but it is dead, jada, jada prakriti. It is the presence of Krishna in the form of Paramatma which actually brings about the activities in the material nature. That same Paramatma is there with us in our heart, whether we are a devotee or not yet a devotee. Even if we are not a devotee, Krishna continues to give his mercy, hoping that one day we will get over our ambition, our desire to lord it over others and turn. And when we turn, we will see Krishna waiting there for us. And we'll tell him, Krishna, now I understand my folly, my mistake. I am yours. Please guide me. And a devotee, because he is already guided, already he has received the mercy from another devotee, he has got into the devotional service. Krishna is already there. The purification free process has already started because he is constantly remembering Krishna. Constantly he's chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And that is why Prabhupada ji says that we should always continue chanting without stoppage. My Guru Maharaj says that we have to serve this mission of Srila Prabhupada in the mood of a servant of the servant of the servant. That is the duty. That is the best philanthropy, best help which we can do. And for that, it is important that we preach the importance of chanting to everyone. Because when someone is chanting continuously, it will protect from all accidental fall downs. And then the living entity can remain perpetually free from all material contaminations. This is what we have to achieve. And this is what Narad Muniji is explaining to Yudhishthir Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.